This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Yes, welcome. This is Comic Capers number 76. I'm Ray, and with me, as always, is a regular host.
Hey y'all, it's Lilith Hellfire.
How you going, Lilith? It's great to be here to chat with you some comics.
Same. So Phil decided that we should discuss Black Widow, issues 1 through 6 from volume 3, which came out in 2014 through 2015. Mm-hmm. So that is what we're going to do to appease our great overlord, Philip.
Philip, yeah, let me see if I can get this working. We're talking about Philip, fill me in, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I think that works. I'll try it again. There you go. There's Phil's drop. Yeah, this is a cool series of Black Widow. I got it mixed up on Twitter. I was all gushing, and I think I tweeted to you that this is cool. I was starting to read the Mark Waid Samney run. It occurred to me that it was actually this one, the Edmonson Noto run, and I remember you saying that Noto was one of the artists that got you into comics, right?
Yeah, I like Noto. He's cool. I'm more of like an artwork than I am like a storyline person when it comes to a comic book. Yeah. I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I really love like cool action sequences, and so like I just hope that because Black Widow film, obviously, which is why we're discussing Black Widow books, is coming out pretty soon. And, she's a pretty cool, complicated female character that gets a lot of action in and out of the bedroom. So I was like, okay, you got me, Phil. We can do Black Widow.
Yeah, very cool. So are you excited for the movie coming out?
I feel like Marvel neglected ScarJo's Black Widow in the movies, but that had a lot to do with Joss Whedon. So I feel like they didn't strike while the iron was hot. Yeah. And I have a lot of apprehension about the movie, but I'm excited to actually that Black Widow. Yeah, I am trying to avoid all spoilers. So.
Oh yes, of course. So have you watched any of the trailers at all, or?
I watched the final trailer and I was just like, okay,
yeah.
I'm starting to get on board, but
me too. I mean, I thought the last. I've been on board because I'm keen to see this Black Widow film, but. It doesn't have that kind of big build up as say obviously like Endgame or when Avengers started. So it was kind of like, oh, Black Widow movie, that's pretty cool. But that last trailer really got me, and I love the sound effects, the soundtrack. I love seeing more of Taskmaster. I think I'm fully invested now. So yeah.
Yeah, Taskmaster's so interesting. It's like, what could possibly happen with a Taskmaster Black Widow situation?
Yeah, and what do you reckon of his costume in the MCU? He's been getting a lot of flack, or the movie's been getting a lot of flack for it.
Well, I don't know. You have to think about that from page to screen translation and what works and what doesn't, especially with these movies are now very super heavily CGI'd and stuff like that. So I kind of give it a pass on that. And plus, you want it to be more practical. Yeah. Ever since X-Men decided to do leather instead of yellow spandex, that's kind of just been the standard that we have to kind of live with.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, let's get cracking. We've got 6 really good issues here. Lilith, I'm just gonna play this just because I can. I don't know if that works. Again, it was another drop. I'm filling in here. So
it, Phil me in Perich. I got you.
Well, I was actually thinking, Lilith, before we went on air, I was thinking, okay, how can I do it? If I can't get these drops happening, I can just do them manually because, I remember a lot of yours, so
oh God, I'm so sorry.
So I want to insert a gobble in there somewhere, or a gobble. And also as well, I've been thinking because I'm very excited, obviously, to come on this show, Lilith, as well. Is it true, right? Okay, Lilith Hellfire. Fair enough, your surname. Lilith is not your first name. Is that correct?
That is correct. Cool. It is actually my middle name.
It's your middle name. Okay. So I'm hoping during this episode I might insert, I'm going to guess. I might insert a few names here and there. Lilith, I'll see if you'll respond to them. Because I'm pretty keen to try to figure out your real name. Phil knows your name, right?
Yes, he does.
Well, I've got to compete against Phil. If he knows your name, I've got to find out as well. All right. Okay. Are you ready, Natasha?
Let's do it.
Hey, Natasha.
I do want to mention when we start though, like I like that they're trying to make her like an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. So I like that.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very much so. I mean, just speaking overall for these issues, the way that Edmonson writes Natasha, I think is brilliant. You really get that kind of espionage. It's full on espionage. But she still has that code of ethics to her. So she kills and, she maims and all that. But, I love it how with her relationship with Isaiah, her lawyer, he basically feeds her, jobs of the worst and the worst of the worst. So,
atonement is the motif, is the everything for these, for this whole run actually, but especially this first arc within the first 6 issues.
Exactly.
So, with that out of the way.
Exactly.
We open up with guns a-blazing, bomb about to go off, and we're in Berlin.
As you are, because, there's always things happening in Berlin. And there's a guy, there's a guy about to blow up a building. Natasha's there in really dodgy disguise. I mean, her hair she looks like a dominatrix or something, which is, not a bad thing. Anyway, she tosses him out the window. But I love this. It opens up with great action. Wouldn't you say, Carol? Yeah. No.
Sure thing, Ray. Sure thing.
So no, it's a great introduction. What happens? Does he blow up? No, he just falls out and she escapes. She gets rid of the disguise. Then we get the introduction of Isaiah. Kind of reminded me a little of Foggy Nelson here, just with his bow tie. But he's obviously a bit more clued in, like we see later on. He doesn't mind getting his hands dirty as well.
Yes. And I love the title, Raison d'etre. And I was just like, oh, too bad they didn't do anything in Russian. But, us Americans have this sick fascination with France, even though France hates us. So I get it.
Do you know what that means? I don't know I'm uncultured. I don't know what it means.
Reason for being. Your reason for
Fantastic. Being. Let me just, great. Okay. So we see Isaiah, and then I love this, just all this infiltration that Natasha does. So she gets a job in Dubai. Isaiah keeps her working plenty. So she goes, actually, he's got the Mission Impossible burning suitcase thing at the end. Beautiful art here by Noto. I mean, the colors as well, really work well with his art.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It's transitional colors, like orange is like in between that yellow and that red, and lots of gray. I really, because she's in transition. This is his take on her, where he doesn't feel the need to really dive into her like backstory necessarily, like in the first issue.
Fantastic. What?
So yeah, I kind of dig all that.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's I never considered that, but that makes absolute sense. So she's there what is she there to do? You think that she's there to kill the guy, right? In Dubai.
Right.
And I love this. I love this twist, this play on the trope, right? So that's a typical assassination thing, but, she kind of goes through the goons, Lovely action there with the red. He plays a lot with the red as well, and I'm assuming that's obviously because of Red Black Widow. And we see that in the later issues, all to do with the lighting and stuff. But she meets up with this bald fella, and it turns out that she's not actually there to kill him. She's there to kill the guy who's there to kill him. Pretty cool. Pretty straightforward. He looks a little like Bendis, don't you think? Or no? Maybe a little in-joke there from Marvel. I don't know. But Natasha's got a really good aim with the bazooka because she actually gets a guy.
And I love her when she's in the ceiling, you know, that very Spider-esque thing where she's just kind of clinging to the ceiling too. I think a lot of people don't give the artist a lot of credit because they do a lot of like subtle kind of you know, spider jokes.
Yeah. No, they do. Yeah, exactly. And even the writing as well. There's always a talk of they really do make mention of Natasha being, you know, the little spider, whether it's from a terrorist or not. And also she talks about her web, which is this whole kind of like global network that she has of safe houses and all that, which she has to fund, and officials that she has to bribe from other countries for her to, I don't know, to get stuff into the country. But so I mean, we get this is a really good introduction to her action wise. So you get a lot of action, and I like the end bit as well. Lilith with does she name it already? The little cat, Lilo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of funny because they give Domino a cat too. Well, Gail Simone gave Domino a cat, and it's kind of like a thing of female assassins and their cats, and like, you know, Catwoman obviously has ISIS and stuff. So I find that like kind of like an endearing trait, but at the same time a little misogynistic sometimes. But it was cute.
Yeah. I can see what you mean. Yeah, for sure. It's a bit of a stereotype, but yeah, I do find it nice here because they really do play on Natasha's like loneliness and solitude, especially because she's traveling so much. Like she doesn't even want. I mean, this is a stray cat. She doesn't even want the cat because she's not even there to take care of her. So, but we see the cat will hang around, and we'll see other like neighbors as well. Liho, not Lilo.
Stitch? Is that you?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, nice little. She's living in the little Ukraine of New York City. So again, right on the nose there. Natasha being, you know, Russian and all. She's kind of living with her expats or close enough.
Well, I mean, when that's the only like thing that you can honestly cling to of your identity, I get it, you know. Plus, you know, you get the familiarity of like the culture and the food, and you know, it makes you feel a little at home, a little at ease, maybe. I think, which is why, you know, so many cities have such, you know, little Italy and you know, Chinatown and stuff.
I think that probably has more relevance as well, to Natasha, because she's so lonely and she's detached herself from would be her country and her family and her friends and all that because of the nature of what she does. So I guess this is her way of at least connecting, you know, with something for her to make her feel a little bit more familiar with everything around her. So issue 1. Should we go to issue 2, Lilith?
Yep.
I'm not sure how.
Of course, and not every job goes according to plan.
Yeah, exactly. And I love this, though. So there's a nice variety in these 6 issues of Natasha's adversaries and everything. And as you say, not everything really works out. And this is a nice introduction titled Shanghai. So she's in China now, globe trotting. She comes across this guy who we find out is his name's the Iron Scorpion. He's got a little bit of a beef.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
I mean, any guy that's bald and has a ponytail still, my mum always told me never trust men who are bald and with ponytails. It's just a given. So this guy kind of lives up to it. Apologies if anyone is bald and has a ponytail. It's only a joke. Anyway.
At Ray. Don't at me. It wasn't me this week.
That's it. I'll just, sure. Good. So she's in a bit of jeopardy there. But then we do a bit of the bouncing timeline. We go back to Isaiah, her giving him the job. And it's basically her making her way to Shanghai.
The underwater scene is really cool. I love it. I think that's probably my favorite page out of the whole one.
She does a lot of underwater stuff in this first 6 issues, doesn't she? She doesn't mind getting her hair wet.
And it's funny because she goes, jobs can feel familiar, but familiarity is a dangerous feeling.
Yeah, I love this writing. It's great. It's kind of makes you think. So again, we get with the colours, very blue with the water.
You have some green night sculpting.
That's right, Georgina. It's green night light, night vision. I'll get there. A few deaths. This is quite gory, I think. I think it treads the line. It's not max level, but I like that they don't shirk away from, people getting shot, dead bodies, blood everywhere. It really does add to Natasha's, the stakes that she has and the seriousness of what she does. But yeah, beautiful art here. I love the explosion from the ship, and she.
Oh yeah, and that dive into the water, perfect form, by the way.
That's a 10 out of 10 there. and then she's being kind of stalked by that Iron Scorpion guy. He set her up in that instance, so she goes to that boat, which was what do we call it? It's a trap.
It's a trap.
That's it. AKA a trap. Then we get back to New York with a bit more of Isaiah and this other dude. So Isaiah Ross. So we know that. I wonder if he's related to Everett Ross. I don't know.
Probably secretly.
Brothers, husbands. You never know. So this guy here, Arms, or something.
Ames. We're gonna go with Ames.
And he just I don't know, what does he do? He he wants
somebody put a bug in his car, and they're trying to settle things privately, whatever that means.
That's right, and they want to try and get to Natasha, and this is where we see later on. I love it with Isaiah. I didn't expect it from him, but he's pretty clinical and he's deadly in his own right. So then, anyway.
Well, of course, he's a lawyer. Oh. Come on. I mean, are lawyers just bad people in America?
No, believe me, lawyers are bad here as well. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I love my good lawyers that do prosecutorial work in pro bono. Just a joke.
I kid as well. I've got some friends who are lawyers as well. So shout out to them. I'm not sure if they're listening, but anyway. And actually, going back here, Sharon, we've got the guy that she kind of met, the old dude that she knows. He was looking for his son, right? But she comes back, and unfortunately, Mr. Lin has been skewered.
A naughty boy.
He's been a very naughty boy. Gobble gobble. I don't have the drop, so I've got to use that. He and Natasha gets ambushed by. Oh, it looks like the Iron Scorpion, right? I see a ponytail in the silhouette. Would you say? Is it him?
Yes.
Yeah, it's him. And he somehow makes his way down the building, and we kind of return back to page 1 where Natasha was
deceived.
That's right. And then here's a bit of Isaiah listening in on the guy, Ames. And so what do they want to blackmail Black Widow for her money. And so they want to also just get rid of Isaiah, so kill him. So I would pay attention to that as well if I was him. Like he's gnawing into a bread roll. That's obviously got his
right. Gotta keep your energy up. You got a carbo load. You never know where you got to run for your life. I get it.
Exactly. All right, you are like 3 steps ahead here, Lilith. Of course, carbo loading. Yeah, right. You should have had some pasta as well. I think. So anyway, we see the Iron Scorpion. He was in disguise as well. He was hanging around Mr. Lin, deceptively disguised in a hat. That kind of disguised him. Because as you can see...
Because, all Asian people look alike, so just a slight disguise, and you'll never know.
Covered his bald head, so they thought he had hair. There he is. And then we get a bit of a reveal. He's a little ticked off that, Natasha killed his brother, but his brother isn't exactly the best.
Best guy.
Exactly. So he kills people, so Natasha kind of killed him. And I can't.
I like how she's like, I have many regrets, but killing him was not one of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro. He's standing right there. Come on.
Talk about poking the bear. Oh my God, and the bear's right in front of you. But yeah, again, God, I love the way Noto draws Natasha's face. Like, her face is perfect in almost all of these instances of her. Like, really well drawn. And can I say as well, and I say this because I come from an Asian descent, I'm very happy that Noto depicts the Asians to look Asian-looking. Although, there might be some... Would you? I don't know. What do you think?
I think when it comes to drawing, like, Asian characters, like, people either don't go far enough or they go too far. Unless, you are of that descent and you like... I know, like, a lot of my friends, they can't tell the difference between, say, a Japanese person and a Vietnamese person, but I can. Yep. Like, kind of one of those things.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, do you think this goes too far, or do you think this is on the money, the Iron Scorpion, the way he's drawn?
I think it's it's a happy medium for me.
I'm happy with it, yeah. I mean, I'm sure.
Because, like, as a black woman, like, when they draw black people, it's like, oh, yeah, just give them an afro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel POC pain all day, every day.
I mean, that's
it's like, thanks for trying though, buddy. Yeah. So it's okay.
I mean, that's right. I mean, I was reviewing a book drawn by Frank Cho. It was a 2008, I think, book. It was a Hulk book. And I like Frank Cho art and stuff, but all his faces, especially the female faces, they all look exactly the same. Whether they are Asian, Caucasian, So I like to see a bit of difference, and I think, as you say, a nice happy medium here. Although I can, the interwebs, I'm sure there are people that would probably be up in arms with the way this was drawn, but I think it's fine. So,
you got to take baby steps, because honestly, in comic books, white and male and old is still literally the default. So,
exactly.
Baby steps. You have
old white male faces drawn on women sometimes as well, which is, not the best.
I do love Noto's art because he makes Natasha's faces, expressions very different. Whether she's pensive, she's in pain, you can just definitely know what they're going for even without the word bubbles, and I appreciate
there is a beautiful one. I mean, we'll get to it. It's on issue 6, I think, or 5 or 6, where she battles that what's the guy's name, Molot or something, that monk, and she has that look of satisfaction on her face when he's about to fly into the turbine. Those expressions are brilliant. So anyway, so there you go. To kind of end issue 2 there, Jessica, the Iron Scorpion just got hit by the truck, right? And he disappears. I'm assuming Edmonson wants to build him up as a recurring villain.
Yes.
So,
and then, of course, also mysterious Asian man disappears mysteriously. That trope. So.
We just needed a puff of green smoke, and then that was it. That would be perfect. That would be perfect. All right, well, so issue 3 then, we move on to about halfway through this series called Foliage. It's another different, again, globe-trotting. She's racking up her frequent fly points here. Now, Lilith, Argentina. She's,
Ooh, are we hunting Nazis? Because that's the only thing we go to Argentina for.
But this is a good one. I don't know which one out of all the 6 that I like. They're actually all really good issues. I was thinking I really did like this one.
I like that they feed into each other. Like, there's, how like sometimes there's like a one-off in like a 6-issue arc. And you're just like, wait, no, no. So like it's all kind of pretty much straight through these first 6 issues, and I kind of appreciate that.
And speaking of that, there's the that thread with Leho, but we also get the neighbor of Natasha, who we see. She's got the black eye, which she, terrible stuff, and you just know and hope that Natasha's going to do something with it. But so that's happening domestic. But she goes to Argentina. Basically, she cracks this guy out of prison under the guise that she's kind of helping him, which she is. This is a weird one.
Tear away the beard.
I know. Wow, she looked like, the beard covered everything. She looked exactly like. But I'm sure that it's meant to be a lot more, well disguised than that. But yeah, so she takes this guy. What's his name? Anyway, some dude. No, you don't actually hear his name. This is one of the few ones, though, I think, Lilith, where I think she goes against her mission. Did you say?
Oh, his name is Angelo.
Angelo. How did I not know that? He looks like an Angelo. I don't know any Angelos. But yeah, he goes against. She goes against her mission here, which I found interesting, because she breaks him out of the jungle. Really cool. Really cool way that she gets out of there, and I love the way Edmonson drops little hints, which she looks retrospectively back to kind of figure out the character of this guy. Yeah. So what was it? It was like the snapping of the twig. Him. Yeah. Squashing. He squashes the spider, I think, in the tree. Where am I? Yeah. All that sort of stuff. If anything, I think I don't know here, Lilith. I don't know if your take the jungle extraction scene is that. I'm just going to check. Is that by the same artist? It looks different. I reckon he may have rushed. If you look at this, the quality of the art, or
it's still he's still there. Yeah. I don't know if the letter might have changed or the colors or something maybe, because sometimes that does have a heavy impact. But I don't know. I took it as it was maybe a blurry memory, or I don't know. I did notice kind of the different quality of the artwork, but
okay, yeah.
I figured there was a purpose that I just went over my head. Maybe
it could be. I think it could be just for the jungle, under the twilight. It just looks a bit different.
It's very hectic, and her mind is actually also not really completely there, and she has to keep reminding herself to be in that moment.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yep. Because when she does start reflecting, the art goes back to normal. There's the close up of the neighbor with the bruised eye. I mean, that's more like the Noto, the art that you see. So yeah, highly probable that it's really intentional. This slight different style. Maybe Noto showing off. He can do a different style slightly. So Angelo,
and I love the guy is the white wolf. By the way,
yeah. What is that? So that
Lobo Blanco.
But the white wolf is because there is a white wolf in the Black Panther lore, right? It's he's the head of the, I can't remember the name, but head of the police of Wakanda. What are they called? They're like the something dogs. Anyway, I can't remember. So they take him to the rendezvous point, Natasha does, and he finds his friend Vincente, which is exactly what Natasha had promised. But then she realizes this thing, she realizes, he had a whole lot of tributes from other inmates, protection money in his cell, disregard for life, so he squashed that spider, he murdered that guy.
And he's like, some young girls waiting. Yeah. He was just in chicken wings.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really kind of laying it on thick about this guy's a bit of a douche, or more of a douche. So we kind of realize the same time as Natasha. And
the Butcher of Argentina.
Yeah. Look at that. In his white uniform. But a pretty grisly ending as well. You say. So they
And she does the classic, she uses her legs because she's a woman and our legs are stronger. I love it. I love anytime they kind of do that, because they did that in the movie for the first time. I was like, yay! And then Ant-Man did it. It's because Wasp taught him how to fight. So I was like, oh, that's such a neat little...
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's true. It's like, it's being, you're right. It's being attention to detail and stuff. So it's become really a Widow signature. I mean, did you ever watch Agent Carter as well?
The first couple, like, and I love Haley, I do, but like, it just... because it just, like, for me, I was just like, I knew they were going to do what they were going to do, and I was just like, I don't want to get attached to be upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different show to like the Netflix shows and stuff, but I think it's still great. I've got it on.
Honestly, I was hoping they were gonna like kind of do like talk more about like the Red Room and just like it could be like a history of Marvel. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of dropped the ball on it, and
you kind of saw the beginning of Shield, right, with the
exactly
SS or whatever it's called. I can't remember, but and it was good. No, well, it had like an assassin there as well, a female assassin, and she used the Black Widow move. So there was all this speculation, you know, the Red Room, and was she trained the same way as Natasha? So it's really become a Black Widow kind of signature move. Anyway, so she drops Angelo into the water. We get a few alligators here and there.
And there's alligators, or they're still gators because they're not across the Atlantic. Across the Atlantic, they're crocodiles.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
Yeah. We've got Crocs over here. She doesn't, she doesn't mind as well stabbing him to release a bit of the blood. But then, off he goes. I'm sure that resulted in a bit of a gobble myself as well. With a
definitely a gobble moment.
One sec. Okay, the headphone nearly popped out. It nearly popped out, Lilith.
Now she's going to crawl back to her web.
Yes.
To a place she hopes could be home. And I was like, oh, I'm rooting for you, girlfriend.
Yeah. This is in Buenos Aires, right? So this is one of the web things. Yep. Nice little splash of green at the back as well. She has a little chat with Isaiah. He's saying, I think he mentions like everything's taken care of, don't worry. But S.H.I.E.L.D. want to talk to Natasha.
Director Hill has something they want to talk to you about.
I like Director Hill. Do you like Hill as a character?
I do.
I think she's good. I do. Totally underused in the MCU. I was hoping that Kobe Smulders would have been able to do more, or whoever wrote for.
Well, I heard that she will be making a couple more appearances or something, whether it be on, the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or in the movies too, especially with that reveal from like Captain Marvel and stuff.
Yeah, I hope so. Definitely. Because for me,
I love Robin Sparkles. Are you kidding me?
Me too as well. It was great. It's great. Are you watching Stumptown by any chance?
No.
Oh, you should. It's a great.
I'll put it on the list. I might have to be in quarantine. I don't know. If I end up in quarantine, I'm gonna definitely need something on the list.
Exactly. We'll all have enough time soon enough to catch up on our shows and stuff. But no, it's based on the Greg Rucka graphic novels. And she's a really cool character. She's an ex-soldier from Afghanistan. She's got a little bit of PTSD. And I think they've described her as the most kick-ass female lead in TV. She gets into fights every episode. It's really cool. But no,
I feel like I could relate.
I reckon, yeah.
So I will put that on the list. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's still in season 1. So it's also got the guy from New Girl.
Schmidt?
No, the other Nick. Is it Nick?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's pretty cool in that as well. He plays the best friend, bartender. It's good. Anywho, anyway, I'm trying to think of another name. I'll just call you Lilith. Anyway, issue 4. Now we get onto, I think this is issue 4, 5, and 6 kind of starts becoming a bigger arc. I've never heard of the guy, the Indestructible Man, Dran, and his lackeys, which one of them is this Mogot, the Hammer of God, Molot, the Hammer of God. So basically a big Russian dude who just doesn't seem to care about pain.
I always want to say Merlot because I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, I love my Merlot as well. I think we've got a good connection here, Lilith. Phil just sent me a photo.
I love this cover though.
Oh yeah, it's a great cover.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Sorry, Phil just sent me a picture saying, come over to the US, we've got you covered, and he sent me an ad for wine delivery. It's like, okay, thank you.
Yes.
So, a couple of cases of Merlot or Merlot. But this cover's really cool. Very, very Rasputin-esque, I reckon, for this guy. Big beard, doing a bit of...
Which is kind of like makes sense with, like, they start off Day of Sin and you're like, is it going to be one of those kind of issues?
Yeah. But yeah, so what happens here? So she gets the she gets some information from a SHIELD agent, and then just trying to. Then she someone's watching her. It's the big dude. No, that's it. She was meant to protect that guy, that SHIELD, that person that was going to speak with SHIELD, but the car or the embassy is bombed. She goes flying. There's a lovely series of panels here, Lilith, with Natasha turning her head. It kind of makes you look at it in slow motion, which kind of makes it very cinematic because you can see her realize that something's about to go, and then the bomb goes off. In her business suit, she scales a building, goes up to the rooftop, runs across.
That's why she's wearing a pantsuit, Ray. With flaps.
Exactly.
Practical.
Well, I'm sure she could have done that in anything as well. Evening dress. We're talking Black Widow.
I know, but just, she's dressed practical. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Still looking very cool as well. And her colors, black and white. Or black, at least. So this big dude comes in. He seems a bit more than human, right? He cracks into the rock. She falls through. Lovely kind of, again, vision of him as she blacks out. And that's it.
I like how she thought it was going to be a boring job. She was wrong.
She gets to dance with this crazy dude. But he just leaves her. So she wakes up and she's like with Maria Hill, I guess, recounting the tale. So nothing's happened to her. But he just kind of leaves the scene. And this is cool. In the Ukraine, in Kiev, she's got like a mechanical fly that is like
Hey, those things are actually real, man. Actually, they're bees because bees are dying. Like I kind of like dig that it's a fly, but like it is like an actual thing that you can actually like. And Black Mirror did a whole episode about it, but it is kind of true. Like they use mechanical bees to pollinate the flowers because of the collapse of the bee colonies. So I always like this little detail right here. It's like it's a drone basically, but a little fly drone.
But more importantly, what's happening to the bee?
So that's a little.
What's happening to the bee colonies? I'm concerned. Are they
humans? We have to save the bees. Plant wildflowers in your backyard if you're not allergic. Like that's all that I can say. Bees are just like we are ruining the earth, and the bees are like really important. And people just
bloody humans, eh? Oh my god. Anyway,
but yeah, that's my PSA for this episode. Please plant wildflowers if you're not allergic to bees so that we can, kind of stabilize the colonies and stuff.
We have had to introduce android bees or drone bees as Rebecca has mentioned. Sure. And so that the flies, so she gets her intel. She goes now to South Africa. Can you do a South African accent, Lilith?
I can't, but honestly, it's terrible because like some of my favorite actors are South African and I have a friend that's South African. I really dig the accent, but I don't want to butcher it.
Oh, I don't mind. Diplomatic immunity. That's it, isn't it? Lethal weapon? Diplomatic immunity. My one of our neighbours is South African, so I hear it a lot. As you can tell.
Cape Town is gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Of course, I'd love to go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. About 3 years ago?
Cool.
Yeah.
Were you backpacking?
No, I don't do backpacking. It's hotels or nothing.
No worries, of course. No, Cape Town does look like a gorgeous place. I'd love to go to South Africa. I'd love to check it all out. So what happens here? She, her target, or her, someone that she's meant to save, right, gets accosted again by this, by Merlot. Merlot Boga. Molot. Yeah.
Wow, look at those tattoos. Those guys like Juggernaut's
cousin. He is, and he's holding a Gatling gun in one hand as well. So he's a big unit. And anyway, so he uses it on the car. He doesn't care. He's just causing havoc. And Natasha.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, and this guy's one of
them. He's A-grade Fruit Loop. He's he's crazy, cray. Anyway, so Natasha's up there. She's got a good vantage point. Awesome stuff. She actually evades the Gatling gun. Very cool. And she does a bit of a backflip and a shoot towards him. He does not hammer this. Time. And he doesn't flinch at all. This guy does not care. So Natasha, yes.
I love the upside down panel.
Did you turn it upside down, or did you read it upside down? Yeah, me too. Because I felt like we had to experience it like Natasha. Yeah, exactly.
Experience, yeah, exactly.
She's got to put in. She's putting in effort. We've got to. The least we could do is put in a little bit of effort as well. So, so a little tricky, but he's babbling on about something about the Almighty. Goes for her again. Basically, she's got. This is what I always wondered as well, Lilith. Like, she's got the two handguns. She never seems to have anything like bigger apart from the sniper rifle. And this is her first encounter with him. And,
as an assassin, that's all you need. You want kind of smaller, more easily concealed weapons, because even the sniper gun can break down into smaller pieces.
The knife.
So
I think that's probably the best weapon for assassin. The knife.
Yes, for close quarter, unexpected surprise advantage.
But
yes.
So he's got some grenade launchers. Why not? And he launches them at.
I'm so jealous. I don't know if Phil told you or you've heard. I am desperately in need of a bazooka.
Really? Okay, that's awesome. I'll see if I can find one for you. I don't know. No, we don't have them here. They're cool. I want one of these things that he's got. They're like the handheld grenade launchers. I don't know what I use it for, but why not?
Getting rid of those damn mean kangaroos.
Yeah, also as well, Phil didn't believe me, and I just had lunch before I put Finn into bed. I had a nice kangaroo burger. It was good. Phil didn't believe me that. I think he didn't believe.
Why didn't he believe you?
Yeah,
you guys eat emu down there too, right?
Kangaroo, very high in protein, low in fat. And it's actually because I think there's a lot of them. It's as cheap as like chicken, compared to, I don't know, pork or beef. I don't know how it is in the US, but chicken's pretty cheap. Yeah.
Chicken is
so kangaroo's about the same, and it's delicious. So you got to try it. It'd probably be expensive.
As long as you don't put Vegemite on it, we'll be cool. I had that once and it was gross. Like, no offense. Like, I was
beautiful.
Just like, no, not for me. I'd rather eat kidney pie. Like,
kidney pie. I remember having kidney when I was little, and it's like that. Never again. Liver. Oh no, I can't have liver. No. You're not a liver. Yeah.
But she comes out of it. I love all this like smoke, guns ablazing. Like I really dig Black Widow action. Like they really get like female action hero sequences right. And I kind of wish that they would have put more of this into like the movies. And I hope in Black Widow they kind of this is one of the runs that they pull from.
I hope so as well. And I just got to reiterate what you say as well. I love the way this action is played out here. I've got to reread the Samney Wade run, but I've forgotten how good this is. This is a really good series, and the action is always there. Natasha, I think, is very well written in this whole series. It's I can't praise it enough. So she again, he goes away. He kills a guy in the limo, and Natasha's kind of back on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s plane before we see the end of the issue with the boss of Molot Boga, which we later know is the indestructible whatever man, Dran. You like how
I kind of like the transition too from like, because she's injured and she feels like kind of like her feelings are hurt that this guy got the best of her, that it's blue.
Yeah, it's nice.
She's dealing with
but her red hair just pops out. I love it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so I'm looking. How are you reading these, Lilith? I'm just looking at.
These are the digital. The other 2 volumes I do have in floppy, but this one
I'll pull out the old floppies. I'm just mindful of my sweaty hands. How do you?
I know. Seriously. I wear gloves. Like when I have to take the ones out of the bag, like the important ones, I do have like white gloves that I wear because. Yeah, some of them are expensive now. Thank God.
I don't think it's too expensive, but this issue of Moon Knight.
The moon's night of vengeance must carry out your luminous will.
Yeah, I got
whatever, Moon Knight nerd.
Moon Knight nerd. Anyway, I was about to say I reviewed issue 188. It was a new legacy run of Moon Knight. And I had the floppy, and we did a review of it. It was like, 1 hour, 1.5 hour episode. And by the end of it, I looked at the issue and like I had my big dirty bloody hand fingerprints all over it because the ink kind of, so I had to, I didn't have to, but I bought another copy because the other one was just trashed.
See, sometimes I do get 2 issues, one to read and one to keep.
Do you do?
So, sometimes I feel bad about it, but
let me guess.
Sometimes you have to. Like my Superman ones, the ones for his 80th, I had to have. I have a set, 2 sets of.
Are you a big Superman fan?
And everything.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be.
And you hate Ben Reilly, is that right? I heard you.
I don't hate him, but I'm here for Peter.
That sounded exactly like your thought. That's awesome. Like the tone and everything. Okay, so we're on to issue 5. For those watching YouTube, let me see.
For the birds.
That's cool. What a
I'm like Birds of Prey.
Cool front cover. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Birds of Prey. Yeah. You follow Birds of Prey, don't you? DC and all that. Big fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Happy with the film? You were, yeah. No.
No. Too much Harley.
Oh.
Like it should have been Gotham Sirens, like Poison Ivy, Harley, and a couple of other girls. Like even Zatanna. Like we need Zatanna in the DCU, like just flat out. So.
Cool. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, and her father's Doctor. Well, was Dr. Fate for a while. So
cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Hopefully, maybe.
But yeah, this cover is awesome. It's very Mission Impossible, and I dig that.
I know we know he's a great artist, but that plane is brilliant, and her running, really cool. Very Mission Impossible, as you say. So we get this in Paris here. Your love for everything French, here, Lilith. Her contact.
It's an American thing. It really must be. Like we just love it. We have a fascination with it, especially like girls in like their teenage years. Like Philip took French in high school. I took Spanish because it's more useful. But I do know French.
Can you say something? Can you say something in French then?
I get it. Let's see. Je m'appelle Lilith.
My name is Lilith. Real name there. I was hoping that was my trap. You're too smart.
But yeah, they're outside Paris, and it's rainy because it's always raining in Paris. That's just a thing. Kind of like in London. It's always kind of.
I love the French how they.
And we're going to talk about politics, which I love, because espionage and politics go hand in hand.
Do you want to take us through this politics thing then? I'm not very good with politics myself.
Well, everybody has to have the blackmail on, what the other, say prime ministers in the cabinet's doing, and that's espionage.
It's all about
keep track on that.
Yeah, it's all about.
I kind of dig it.
Oh. It's all about leverage, isn't it? Like, who has something on someone else. So, and this is what Tori Raven, and of course she's got black hair. Raven, get it? Just in case.
Get it?
Might as well have given her a beak as well. But so she gives some intel about the Hammer of God, Molon Boga, and he's about to
Russian Orthodox monk. Is that really a thing? I never did.
Oh, it is very much. I can't really say. It just sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds right. It sounds like it's real. So he kind of he was kicked out of the order, mood swings, violence. Typically, he's a bit of a thug. I mean, look at him. Look at the size of him. You'd think he'd be spending more time in the gym than in the monastery, right? It's a bit crazy.
Have you ever seen those Shaolin monks? They're they can kick your butt. I mean, they're a little thin, but they got some muscle there. Yeah, he looks like he should be wrestling and not a monk.
WWF or something. So he's got eyes on the plane, i.e. the plane and the title on the cover of this issue, and he's got Lilith, Lilandra. He's got your favorite weapon there in his hands, the big bazooka. So that's he's pointing.
That's not what I would use mine for, though. Not at all.
Have you got what? Have you got plans? Phil's address, or what's going on?
No. Well, I did hear about a really sad story. In Kenya, they did a poacher killed the only white giraffe in her. She actually had a white baby giraffe, and that's kind of what I would use my bazooka.
I'd use that as well. I'm a big animal lover, and that's ridiculous. Absolutely. Okay, well, let's not, just in case the government is listening, let's not discuss any more planned murders.
Exactly. They can't just blow up their car so they can get away from authorities. That's
just a warning shot with a bazooka. That's all.
A little overkill.
So anyway, our friend Boga, he shoots a plane. So do you follow the NBA at all, Lilith?
A little bit, but usually not. I follow the beginning of the season, and then after All-Star round about the playoffs, and I'm kind of bummed that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Canceled.
But do you know players and stuff? Because whenever I say Boga, I always think of that Aussie basketballer Bogart. Is it Andy Bogart? Do you know him?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I always think of that when we talk about this monk. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked. He hits a wing. They both nearly get squashed by the plane. That would have been a pretty short story if they did. And it goes down the runway. She's got a gun at his head. That could have been it right there. But he's a bit too quick.
But we have a little bit more to go in this series.
To survive. But he brings out, I thought it was a machete at first. He's just got a twisted bit of metal that he tries to swing at it. Is it? Or is it a sword? No, it's a bit of metal. And he's about to hit her. Again, beautifully drawn. One of the really identifiable things with Noto as well, his sound effects, they're very, very particular. It's a different sort of font, and it's just kind of outline text. I don't know. It's just very different from other sound effects you see in other comics. So anyway, Natasha, again, shoots him, keeps on shooting him. He doesn't care, but she shoots him enough that he kind of falls backwards, right? And this is that panel I was talking about. Lovely look on her face of satisfaction as he goes into the turbines.
Just expect crazy to be insane.
Yeah, exactly. I should have had a beep in there as well. And it turns out there's only one guy on the plane, and he actually doesn't last that long. I
love her. What on earth?
I was expecting to see innocent. Oh, sorry, like a whole group of innocent people. There's just one stooge there on the plane, so not much there. A bit of a anticlimax. She has a short meeting with Maria Hill. They share a bit of vodka in their coffee, as you do. As you do.
As you
it's
do.
quite nice, and of course Russian. And then she talks to this guy who's meant to be like, what is he? Meant to be like a, what do you call him?
Seeking asylum or something like that?
I thought he was not a squealer, but yeah, seeking asylum. Anyway, he's really scared. And
a defector, I believe, is the word that they use.
Yeah. But he's scared of this thing, Chaos. And I thought, this name of Chaos, it reminds me too much of Get Smart. But did you get that as well? Like, yeah.
Yes.
10, 15, something like that. Yeah. Sorry, there's a just checking the time there.
No, I just have the one savage chat.
Yeah, okay.
Got one more issue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mrs. Ray.
So anyway, so he talks about being scared of chaos, but he bites into a cyanide pill or something, or somehow they've managed to kill him. So he kind of starts frothing at the mouth, and off he goes. Then we get a bit more of Maria Hill and her touching base with Raven. We're going back to the boat. She's obviously after the boss, right? Instructor. How did she figure out it's Dran? How did she know that? Did he? Oh,
she knew it all along.
Oh, no, who was he then?
That's what it seems like. Look at her smug little face. Well, that's the thing about, espionage, too. Yeah, you have a quote-unquote friend who will help you, but at the same time, they don't always give you the full picture. The gloat, you're right. So off she goes. Bit of action off the plane, diving down in the water in the boat. She's going to go... I love this little... The visuals here when she's in the water, and then the torchlight shines on her. And then you get this overhead shot of all these boats kind of surrounding her. She gets captured, and we see the guy, Indestructible Man, who I've never heard of at all. Do you know him? Or no, I was just like, he doesn't show up in my typical Marvel books. So.
He's I didn't mean personally, but he. I've never heard of him as well. And this is a question for this final issue. We'll get to it now, issue 6. I just want to jump straight to it, like Lilith as well. We see Molot Boga again. So he survived that turbine thing. He's covered in metal. That's him, right? How the hell? I thought it would have been minced meat. I thought he was, like, as Natasha said, ground beef. But apparently... he's still kind of whole. So anyway, we'll jump ahead there. But
maybe that's just a plot that we never got to. I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, absolutely. Keep on unplugging this headphone. Sorry. Anyway, so we open up. Natasha's being tortured, but look, she's too good for these thugs. She kind of beats them easy with ease. She kills them. Crack, bam, and the guy, he's gone. So then she finds a way. She encounters this Molot guy again, covered in iron. Again, we don't see the end of him as well. Like she kind of throws him into the water, right? She kicks him into the that's the end we see. That's the end of him so far. I'll have to read beyond issue 6. Maybe he comes back, but.
Yeah, well, this character is also like a really old character. I think he got introduced in like the early 70s. It's a Jerry Conway character, man? So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jerry Conway. Well,
I was surprised too.
Very weird. Maybe he looks really different. I mean, he must look very different in this.
Yes, this iteration is very different from the original iteration.
So Natasha does a really cool thing. She talks to the Indestructible Man Dran, but she's actually routed the boat, the whole vessel, and it's playing into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s hands. So they've caught him, and he's now like doing the Silence of the Lambs kind of behind the viewing glass. and they want to talk to him, but dun dun dun, we got a Shield agent who actually works for Chaos, and of
course you do. It works both ways.
That's right. I mean, in the MCU, Shield was rife with Hydra people. So why wouldn't there be some Chaos people? So he says these things. It's not Hail Hydra, it's Chaos Reigns, and Boo.
And that's a spy's paranoia. Get it? It's the name of the issue.
Oh, it is. Yes, yeah, exactly. And Burger Time as well. I'll never eat it. Yep.
Okay, stop. Burger Time will never be as great as Big Belly Burger.
Is that a real thing, Burger Time? Oh.
No, I don't think I ever even saw that come up again in Marvel, but I'm just saying Big Belly Burger is
I like
the
Big Belly Burger. It sounds a lot better as well.
It's alliteration. Of course it sounds better.
It sounds cool. Anyway.
She's like, no, don't open it. And it's just like, I know, all the cholesterol. Could you imagine?
I don't know you. That's how I look after I eat a burger. Look at him. Bleeding eyes, bleeding nose, shaking. There you go. Yeah, and then he drops. Yeah, that's usually me after a big meal on the ground there. Just in a fetal position. So, but it's a little bit more for Indestructible Man. He does not live up to his name, and I don't think he's
or does he?
Could well be. We actually also see a nice little tie-in that agent, he kills himself, or he's slumped with a gun in his hand. Grisly stuff. Anyway, so again, the building is sealed. They do their checks and everything. I'm assuming later, after everything's been cleared, she's talking to Maria Hill. And it's all...
And looks like she needs her little spider after all still.
And it's all about, being paranoid and everything. And towards the end here in Brooklyn, with her talking to Isaiah, which is really cool. I love their relationship. But we see Clint fall. Now, I was wondering, Lilith as well, is this, do you reckon this is a tie-in? Is this a tie-in to the Matt Fraction run? I can't remember. It's been a while since I read it, but he falls down, he crashes into a car, and he wears that shirt. I reckon it might subtly tie into...
Yeah, I think it might be.
But that's pretty cool. Clinton...
But it's kind of funny because she goes, I need friends, who can I trust?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Look who it is!
I don't know if you can trust him, though. He's a bit of a loose one.
He's a bit of an egomaniac, but at the same time, I've always enjoyed their relationship too. It's very catty and funny, but at the same time, they can depend on each other. Yeah,
I really want to read more of her relationship with Daredevil as well. I think that would be Black Widow, Daredevil.
Don't punish yourself like that, homie. Don't punish yourself.
Or I might just leave that one. But I mean that pretty much kind of ends it, and we do see again. It always seems to end with that spiderweb, which is pretty cool. But we see Leho. Sorry, that's not coronavirus. I'm fine. And so Leho.
It's just seasonal allergies. I swear, doctor.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm good to go. I'm good to go to work. And so we end with her realizing that she can't do this alone as well. She needs someone else. So I guess that sets up for the next one. I can't remember. I've got the issues whether she teams up with someone in the next run. But
I think we kind of get a rotation through her web of her network.
Right.
If I remember right.
But very cool. Enjoyable. Overall, did you enjoy that, Katie?
I did. Like I said, I really hope they pull a little bit from this run, whether it just be action sequences or her motivations or something like that. I really feel like they got it with Black Widow. Black Widow is one of those female characters where super over sexualized, super simplified, but they gave her actual emotions and complicated, motivations and things like that.
No, it's really, I think so as well. And pardon me. Here we go. From that last trailer, it looked like very much in the same mold of Winter Soldier, which is really cool. I can't wait.
Oh my God. literally the only Captain America movie I like. Because he's not in it much.
Can you imagine?
Well, he's not really any of his own movies, technically. Let's just be real.
Burn.
Except for the first one. Even then, it was more about Bucky and Peggy Carter fighting.
Hey, Captain America fans, write in to Lilith Hellfire at Lilith Hellfire.
You can at me. It's fine. I'm used to it.
But yeah, I can't wait. If the Black Widow movie is anything like Winter Soldier, then I think it's got winner chicken dinner all over it. So yeah, no, very good. I don't know. Is that it, Lilith? Shall we wrap it up?
Yes. On that note, we should wrap it up. I want you guys to be sure to send in all your feedback for the rest of the Black Widow series. We'll be covering it. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For just one convenient place, you can go to Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. We got some sponsors I need to shout out. To Hunter Killer. We've got Pod Life the Book. Did I miss one?
No, Tweaked Audio.
Phil makes it look so easy.
Tweaked Audio.
He's gonna have fun editing it. Oh yeah, Tweaked Audio, of course. And that. And make sure that you pick up Pod Life the Book on Amazon. And there's a link in our show notes for our Amazon link. It doesn't affect you, but it helps give Rob some shekels to pay for the broadband because it ain't cheap, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray, give them your plug.
Yeah, well, just in case listeners, in case you hadn't noticed, I think we can say now there's a little bit of a cheeky April Fool's edition here. So I am not Phil, and I don't usually host this, but we thought it'd be a bit of fun, swapping hosting duties. You can usually find me on Into the Night, I'm going to change it. Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. That's on Twitter at ITK Moon Knight. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/ITK Moon Knight. Also, I do co-host a Superman podcast, The Last Sons of Krypton. So check that out at LSK Podcast. And Lilith, how about you?
I also want to mention that you can send that feedback to our email, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or give us a call on our voicemail at 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Yeah. For me, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire or on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69. Duh. Hello, Megan.
Who is Megan? I always hear her name.
Megan, Miss Martian from Teen Titans, from Young Justice.
Oh, okay.
She says, hello, Megan, because that was like her catchphrase when she was an actress on a TV show. So.
Cool.
It's like, duh. Like, hello, Megan. How could you forget?
Well,
and on that note, we will leave you.
Catch you later. Gobble, gobble.